Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Vineet Communications Academy. I am somebody who has worked for 8 to 9 years into public relations, communications, social media, marketing, political campaigns, digital PR, and a lot many spaces and sectors. I worked across diverse verticals, be it your automobiles, be it your legal, be it your political, be it your politicians, ministers, ministries, and what I've understood is many times people don't have any clarity about this industry, which is public relations. This video is also about for those who are looking to make a career into public relations. This is also about for those who don't have any idea about what is actually public relations. You also meet few people who say that, oh, I'm a PR. Then you meet somebody who says, I'm a brand person. Somebody says, I'm a media person. So I will cover all these questions, all these topics, and all of your queries in this video. And I'll make you understand what goes behind the scenes, what goes into a day-to-day activity of a public relations professional, and if you should even look at this career for growth and the changes that I have witnessed across my 9 years of experience, and what you should do as a youngster if you are looking to make a career in public relations, and also if you meet somebody who is into PR, you would have a very fair understanding what we do. So who can become a public relations professional? To be honest, anybody. So I see people from science background, I see people from engineering background, I see people from tech background, I see people from arts background, I see people from commerce background. So basically anybody who thinks they can manage communications, they can join this field of public relations. So you don't need to be from a certain background, but you need to have certain interest, understanding, and also you should have an ability to formulate and articulate when it comes to joining this field of public relations. What is public relations? The real and easiest answer is you help people in their visibility for the good. This is just one line that summarizes the role of a public relations professional. And when I say visibility, this visibility doesn't need to come from the person or a brand's mouth. It has to come from certain authoritarian or certain stuff that is already having its own kind of a reputation. Now, let me give you an example. How to use PR in your own home. It's a very basic example, but you would get it. If you know that if your mother vouches for a particular shop, your father is more inclined to give that shop a shot. There are many times wherein you know ki if this particular thing is recommended or pushed by a certain person, the other targeted audience, in this case your father, they are more inclined to buy. So your mother is now acting as your channel of communications, but what you are doing is you are using your PR strategy, which is to have your mother speak about the product to your father, but you are not directly talking about it. So this is a very basic and simple understanding of PR. Let's say you have a faculty guide, who has a very good reputation. And if they talk about your academic background to your dean, to your HOD, or maybe you are looking for a recognition or a scholarship letter. So what you will do is you cannot go directly to your dean or the HOD. You go, they will know, okay, they will know that you are coming with your own agenda and bias. So that's why they are less likely to give it a shot. But if they see somebody like your HOD or a dean coming up and talking about you, they are more inclined to give you the recommendation letter or whatever you're looking for. Again, you are using PR here, but you never realized it. So now what is public relations? Like I said, it is enhancing the reputation or the how should I say, it is enhancing the reputation, managing the reputation, and also making trustworthy claims, trustworthy communication in the minds of the audience who are looking to have a desired result. Now, case in point, that Apple never allows the negative character or negative traits to use their phones because they don't want their phones to be associated with a negative aura. This is the PR that they have built upon. And see, case in point, think about one of your friend, think about one of your professor. I really don't want to take bigger names because then you might get confused between is it the advertising or is it the PR. So I will make it as personalized as possible for you so that you understand it easily. So let's say you have a friend by the name of Geeta. What makes Geeta your friend? Maybe she's trustworthy. Maybe some of your friend introduced you to her by saying that, oh, she's a good person, she's a good friend, and all that. She acted as your PR channel of communications. And then once you made friends with her, now you realize ki, oh yeah, she was right, she's really cool, she's really nice. Or maybe you meet a prospect for, let's say, wedding, business, job, HR, boss, anything that comes along. So there are certain kind of information that reaches your ears, and then you make a decision basis those, and then you find out if those information facts were they even right or wrong. But those intangible sources of facts and informations, they helped you decide if this is a good choice or not. Henceforth, again, PR was used here. Now, how brands use PR. So when it comes to brands, let's say your personal brands and your corporates, and so all these names and biggies of the industry you can think of, what they do is they would find reputable sources, or, or rather you can say reputable stakeholders. Let's say when a media house talks about a company, you are more inclined to have trust because a Times of India or a Hindustan Times or an Economic Times is talking about it. So you would feel, oh, this must be legitimate, yeah. These guys are talking about it. I'm not talking about the front page ad. I'm talking about, let's say, their expansion plans, their balance sheet, the movement of their CEOs or the interviews of the CEO. Whenever you see them on TV, whenever you read about them in paper, you should know there is somebody like me who has worked behind the curtain to secure that one thing which is called as coverage. It is a media coverage for the client. So now, hypothetically speaking, let's say in an Economic Times, to get a space of this size, I won't give you the dimensions, I'm giving you this particular space. It might cost in the range of 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. But when it comes to PR, and a PR would reach out to a journalist, they would pitch that my client is doing so and so, they are launching so and so, they are into the business of so and so, or maybe they are expanding, they are growing, maybe they have a funding announcement. So now you think of the ROI. Let's say a person who cannot afford an advertising of this space with this amount of money, they can certainly afford and invest in good PR with good PR representatives who can go out in the media and talk about them. So whenever you see a product launch, company would say it's the best, but what do? You go on YouTube, you go on Instagram, you see who all are talking about it and what are they talking about it. And here comes the paid biases. So when so all these in details I would cover later stages. How do that work, and how do these events are planned? How are these media people indulged by the companies, and how news reaches you? Everything I will cover later on in this series. But I don't want to make it more technical also. But I just want to give a brief overview of what is public relations. It is just about getting the right stakeholders talk about your client, and that client can be an individual or a company. And the most important part is it is usually about trust, trust, trust. No matter how much money they invest in advertising, what a PR story can do, and advertising cannot do. That is for sure. And if you see, let's say, whenever you see somebody nowadays, most of your brand coverages are paid, most of your awards are paid, and most of your magazine covers are paid. But think about the time when you would see somebody on a Fortune magazine page, or when you saw somebody, on India Today front page. You would automatically associate that person with some stature, some aura, or some pedestal. You would see, oh wow, and that impact can never be created no matter how many times you see them on a billboard. This is the credibility of that person, yes, but the more important part here is the India Today, or a Fortune magazine, or an Economist, or let's say an NDTV talking about your friend. Your friend can talk about it, he can open a camera and he can talk about it, he can have the views. But when NDTV talks about your friend, you are more inclined to have trust. That's how subtly your PR stories are planted, and that's how subtly you get to know about various of your celebrities. Oh, this happened, that happened. Let me tell you, everything is sent by a PR person to the media, and then they play it many times, and many times they also choose not to play it. But it's about having a chatter which increases trust in the minds of the targeted audience. This is just a brief overview of what is public relations. And you can, from today only, you can start using PR. Let's say you have a friend who is very, who cannot be trusted, and they all, what they do is they chatter, chatter, chatter. You feed them information and they will talk about that particular information. You use it in your life. Or let's say there are certain things that you want to be known about you in your office circle, in your friend circle, in your family circle. You start seeding those little facts into those people, and let them talk about it, let them have their own conclusions. But I'll also teach these tricks in my later videos, so you can follow me for more such content, more such informative content. I'll be out with an entire series. I will give you all the tricks. I'll give you what is happening behind the curtain. I'll tell you the rate cards. I'll tell you about the money involved. And just to end, I would like to end with the one thing. If you're looking to build a career in public relations, what you should know about is, in the initial stages, yes, there can be struggle. Yes, there can be deadlines. Yes, there can be stress. Yes, there can be mental trauma. But I have one small advice with you if you are here till this stage. Let's say you're interested in beauty. Let's say you are interested in legal. Let's say you are interested in automobiles. Let's say you are interested in science. Let's say you're interested in pharmaceuticals. But some or the other reason you could not join these fields, aerospace for that exam. You can manage media, you can manage PR for these companies. And you know why you would be a right fit? Because a PR representative needs to have the industry knowledge, the company's knowledge, the product knowledge, and they also have to be updated with what is happening in their industry. Because if they are not, they will not be able to pitch the story, talk to the journalist, and have interesting conversations. They will not be able to represent their clients. So let's say if you are an expert in beauty, you can go to a Nykaa or a Kate Beauty or a, I don't have that much knowledge into this field. Similarly, for automobiles, you can go to an Isuzu motor or a Bajaj, or let's say a Yamaha. That, listen, I understand this, I understand and the media part you can learn. And the course is, what usually people do is BJMC or a BAJMC, which is Bachelor's in Journalism and Mass Communication, and also Bachelor in Arts and Journalism and Mass Communication. And these are the places where they teach you a brief overview about what is PR. But whatever learning you can have, you can only have it once you start working. So thank you very much for watching till this time. Do follow me, and do you can share these videos with folks who are looking to build a career in public relations. And I think if you have any doubts, suggestions, do drop them on the comments. I will cover them in my later stages videos. And this was just a brief overview of what is public relations and about the career in public relations. Thank you.